Have you ever trusted someone so deeply that you couldn't imagine they were hiding a life-changing secret? Someone who wore a smile. Someone who saved lives by day, but lived in shadows by night. This is the story of a nurse whose double life would leave investigators stunned. And it begins not in a dark alley, but in the quiet, sterile hallways of a hospital. Her name was Clara Hayes. To her patients, Clara was an angel. She worked long shifts at St. Mary's Hospital, never complaining, always attentive. Families adored her. Doctors respected her. Her supervisors called her the backbone of the ward. She had that rare quality, the ability to make anyone feel safe. Her gentle voice could calm the most anxious patient. Her hands were steady in the most chaotic emergencies. Clara's life seemed perfect. She had an apartment downtown, a circle of close friends, and every weekend, she volunteered at a local shelter. By all appearances, she was the kind of person everyone wanted to be. But appearances can be deceiving. It began with something small, a missing vial of pain medication. Hospitals are busy places. Things get misplaced all the time. No one thought much of it until it happened again and again and again. The hospital launched an internal audit. Nothing pointed directly to Clara. She was too careful. But outside the hospital walls, her other life was beginning to surface. Neighbors started whispering. Why was Clara always seen driving late at night? To parts of the city, no one in her position had reason to visit. Why did she sometimes return home looking exhausted? Not from long shifts, but from something else, something unexplainable. And why, in her perfect apartment, did she keep her bedroom door always locked, even when friends came over? Investigators would later discover what was behind that locked door. Stacks of cash, disposable cell phones, and files, meticulously kept files, on people she was never supposed to know. Clara Hayes, the beloved nurse, was living a double life. By day, she was the caregiver. By night, she was the infiltrator. She had ties to a group operating in the shadows of the city. A group involved in fraud, drug distribution, and secret dealings that reached into unexpected corners of society. Her role? She provided access. Hospitals are fortresses of information. Patients, doctors, prescriptions, supply chains. And Clara, with her badge and trustworthiness, had the keys. She funneled information. She covered tracks. She ensured shipments moved undetected. But here's the dramatic irony. The same woman who comforted families was silently contributing to the very suffering she claimed to heal. Every double life eventually collides. For Clara, the turning point came with a patient named Michael. Michael was young, in his 30s, recovering from an accident. He looked up to Clara, saw her as not just a nurse, but a lifeline. One night, Michael confided in her. He told her he wanted to turn his life around. That before his accident, he had been involved with dangerous people, that he wanted a second chance. He begged Clara, "If you know anything about that world, please don't let me go back." Clara smiled gently. She reassured him, told him he was safe. But later that night, she made a call. And within days, Michael disappeared. He left the hospital against medical advice, or so the paperwork claimed. His family never saw him again. For investigators, that was the crack in the mask. Detectives began digging into Clara's life. Her financial records didn't add up. For a nurse's salary, she lived far too comfortably. Trips, electronics, hidden assets. Her text messages, once retrieved, painted a chilling picture. She wasn't just helping the group. She was deeply embedded. And yet, colleagues refused to believe it. Clara? Impossible, they said. She saved my father's life. She worked overtime just to comfort a dying child. The contrast was unbearable. How could the same hands that healed also destroy? That question haunted investigators as they pieced together her movements. Then came the discovery that shocked even them. A coded notebook found in her locker. Page after page, names, numbers, transactions. It wasn't just evidence of her involvement. It was a roadmap, a list of people connected, people who were now under threat. And at the center of it all, Clara. The day of her arrest was surreal. It was a bright morning. Clara had just finished a 12-hour shift. She was tired, sipping coffee in the hospital parking lot. That's when the black SUVs pulled in. Agents surrounded her. The nurse everyone trusted was handcuffed in front of stunned patients and staff. Reporters swarmed the story. Beloved nurse exposed as criminal mastermind. Angel of mercy or double-faced betrayer. The community was torn. Some defended her. She must have been forced. Others condemned her. She fooled us all. But in the interrogation room, Clara's calmness unnerved everyone. She didn't deny it. She didn't weep. She simply said, "You only ever saw what I wanted you to see." Clara Hayes was sentenced to decades in prison. The courtroom was packed. Families of patients she once helped and victims of the network she supported. Some cried for her. Some demanded justice. And through it all, Clara sat expressionless. The irony was bitter. The woman who dedicated her life to saving others had used that same position to harm them. The files, the money, the connections, all gone, seized by authorities. But the emotional damage? That lingered. Families questioned every act of kindness, every nurse, every word of comfort. Trust had been fractured. So what can we take from this haunting story? It's easy to believe that evil comes with a warning sign, a dark face, a sinister presence, a chilling voice. But sometimes it wears the warmest smile. Sometimes it looks like the person you admire most. Clara Hayes reminds us of a painful truth. Not everything kind is pure. Not every healer truly heals. But here's the lesson. We cannot let betrayal make us cold. Yes, trust can be broken. But without trust, there is no healing at all. The challenge of life is this: to trust wisely, but never blindly. Because sometimes the greatest danger isn't from strangers in the dark, but from angels in disguise. Would you have trusted Clara Hayes? Tell us in the comments. If this story stunned you, hit like and share to spread the lesson. Subscribe for more true crime mysteries with life-changing lessons. Trust wisely, but never blindly. What do you think?